everyone right now is going on and on and on about how to become unrecognizable before 2026. And I don't want that. Do you know why? Because after talking to literally hundreds of women and getting them transformation like this, going binge-free, healing their relationship with food, exercising their body, losing the weight and all of that, and keeping it off, do you know the one thing they all have in common when they come to me? They're all going to say something along the line of, I've lost myself. I don't feel like myself anymore. I don't recognize the person in the mirror. And most likely, you don't recognize yourself based on the food you've been eating, or how you've been eating it, maybe binge eating a little or overeating at least, and the exercise that you maybe haven't been doing. And surely you have all the stuff that just, that you're not supposed to be doing, or that all the things that you want to be doing because it would make you feel better about yourself. While everyone is talking about being unrecognizable, I actually want to get back to myself and recognize myself and looking in the mirror and being proud of this version of me who's showing up, even if maybe I don't have my dream body yet or whatever. Most people will gain like anywhere between 5 to 15 pounds from November to December, like up until the 1st of January. So I don't want you to start this year feeling like rock bottom. I want you to start this year feeling proud and in control and connected back with yourself. And this is exactly what this video is going to be about. It's not going to be about weight loss. It's really going to be about how can I get back on track and feel like myself again. So this is a 4-week actionable and a little bit of mindset in order for you to get back to yourself. Week 1 is all about really seeing, okay, where am I? Where do I want to be? And for a little context, the reason why I'm making this video is because I didn't feel like myself. Like I haven't felt like myself lately. Meaning, I do the workouts and I eat somewhat healthy, but that's pretty much all I did. Like my studying schedule slipped and I was working but doing the bare minimum. Like I was showing up to my best for the client calls, but everything content related, every other like annoying business tasks were kind of like swept under the rug, and if I don't really need to do it, I'm not going to. And there were a lot of little ways where I wasn't showing up like myself, or like the version of me who I want to be. And the main one was sleep, because I would be scrolling on Instagram for hours on end until like 1 a.m. And granted, I have an excuse because my boyfriend lives on the other side of the world, meaning that this is the best time to talk to him. So obviously that was also that, I would talk with him and then waiting for him to answer, I would scroll, talk with him, scroll, talk with him, scroll. So, that's my excuse. But still, I didn't like the fact that I did that, because I go to bed at 1 and then I wake up at like 9. I feel like I've wasted some time. Or even worse, I would still wake up at like 7:30, 8 a.m. and feel like I didn't sleep enough. And of course I didn't sleep enough. Meaning that my hunger was higher, my cravings were higher, I had less energy to work out. It was just like a cascade of bad thing from sleep. So that's pretty much, I reverse engineer the process, asking myself, out of all the little things that I'm not doing right now, if I had to pick one that would change the game, what would it be? Sleep. If you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you know that sleep is the answer to all of my problems. Whether it's about fat loss, running, training, binge eating, all of that, sleep. So I decided, what, let me be stricter with my sleep schedule. 15 minutes before 10 p.m, I would tell my boyfriend, okay, I'm going to bed now. And I would actually turn off my phone and go to bed at a decent time, waking up still like at 7:30, meaning that I had the sleep that I need, because I run a lot. So I need 9 hours of sleep. That's just how my body functions. And I've kind of, I'm fine with that. That's okay. That's what I'm going to do. I'm okay with sleeping 9 hours. It's great. But that means that I actually had to have that discipline. So the first thing I want you to do is pretty much do the same. If your sleep schedule, is the thing that you've been sort of slacking on, that's the easiest to fix-ish. That will have the best ripple effect on everything else. But if it's not sleep, I want you to look at your life and make a list of, okay, this is what my highest potential of like version of me would do. And then compare it. Where am I not, what am I doing myself? You see the gap. You pick one habit, one thing. Don't go around trying to change everything. This is week 1. We're changing one thing. Then you do that one thing this week. You track that one thing, whether it's on your notes app, whether it's on a sticky note, whether it's anywhere. You track that one thing. I want you to make it visible. Okay, for me, I have the sleep like Notion thing on here, so I tick it every morning. If I woke up at 7:30 and went to bed at 10 p.m, I tick that thing. That might sound silly to have a sleep goal, but I see my sleep goal every single day because it has a ripple effect on everything else. And not kidding, I didn't have any other things written on my list like than the usual stuff and the bare minimum things, right? The first day that I slept enough, that day, I opened my biology book, started again, and I made multiple videos for YouTube when I've been slacking. I finished editing a big vlog that should be out, but I've had so much trouble having it out. So I'm going to link here that video because it deserves all the recognition it can get because it took me so long to film and edit. And then if you want to see, my computer has been like that for the past 18 hours because while I was just doing nothing on it because it was Sunday, I was on my computer and I had tea, as I always do. And I don't know, my mom appeared out of nowhere. I don't want to blame her, it's not her fault, but it scared me, so I dropped my tea on my computer and on my bed. So it's been on the drying, side of things, and my video was almost finished uploading, but it just didn't happen. So right now it's in the draft and it will come out when it will come out. Honestly, it's fine. It's fine. It's funny how this video has had so many issues going out. Because when I was editing it, CapCut kept lagging and kept like almost making me start over. I don't know what I'm doing in that video that maybe shouldn't be out, but hopefully by the time you watch this, it's also out. Anyways, point being, that day, by just doing one thing that my ideal version of me does, the rest sort of fell into place and I've been able to do the rest without necessarily having planned for it. You do that for 1 week. Week 2, I want you to focus on structure. Now, if you struggle with binge eating, by the way, you can definitely apply to work with me below, book a free call and let me help you because I've helped, first of all, myself, but also so many women going binge free, healing their relationship with food and then losing the weight. So, if we can all do it, you can too. And asking for help is never a bad thing. I want you to focus on something more structural. Obviously sleep is, but especially if it comes to binge eating, because that was my problem as well. Like, one reason why I was binge eating was because I had no structure around food and I would eat when I'm feeling hungry, which never worked because I would be basically grazing all day and ending up being so hungry at the end of the day that I would binge. I'm not saying try to eat only clean food and super healthy and, throw chocolate out of the window. It's December. I will have in December my, usual chocolate advent calendar thing because my favorite thing about the day is having my coffee in the morning with my chocolate. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. Anyways, one of the biggest reasons why you've lost yourself is because most likely you've gained weight. And a big reason why you gain weight, 80%, is because of your nutrition. A binge urge or even an overeating pattern comes from a lack of structure. If you eat a little bit, whenever, without having a proper, meal structure, that's when you tend to overeat maybe throughout the day or worse, binge at night, which is definitely what happened to me. I had zero structure and I'm a routine girly, okay? So I needed that in order to feel safe and in order to not binge. So what you need is 3 meals. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. And you can have a couple snacks, morning snacks, afternoon snacks, depending on what, your, schedule looks like and what your body needs and when you exercise and all of that. If you do, please, for the love of God, have 1 fun food per day. All of my clients, especially when they struggle with binge eating before coming to me, I'm going to tell them, what's your trigger food? So they're going to tell me, maybe it's cookies, Nutella, this, bread, cheese, this and that. Okay, what is the least triggering out of that list? And they're gonna tell me maybe it's a cookie. Okay, every day you're gonna have a cookie. Yeah, Ideally, not on its own, have it at dessert, after lunch or after dinner, or have it as a snack with some yogurt and some berries. So you have protein and fibers as well, so it's going to be satisfying, and it's also going to curb the glucose spike that would come from just eating the cookie. Have one fun food per day. I promise you, it sounds scary, but the moment you do that, you're going to normalize that food and you're going to stop constantly thinking about it. So this is part of my structure. You've got 3 meals a day, maybe a snack if you need, that's completely fine, and one fun food per day. That's the structure, okay? And that will help you eat enough, feel like yourself again. You won't think about food that much, and allowing for cravings will normalize it so you stop binging. I promise, that sounds crazy, but it's working for literally everyone so far. So you do that for week 2. You can track how you felt. You can tweak a few things if it feels like it's not been working so well. For example, maybe having a higher protein breakfast, because fun fact, it will reduce cravings to have like 30-40 grams of protein for breakfast. And changing the snack because maybe it doesn't work. You can tweak things throughout the week, but the most important part is the 3 meal plus 1 snack structure and having one fun food. Those are the 2 rules for that week. And of course, keeping what you've been doing from week 1, whatever that action is. Okay, week 3, we are going to incorporate exercise. I'm a certified personal trainer. Of course, it was coming, at some point. The thing is, I'm not saying you gotta exercise in order to, burn calories so you can lose fat and so on. No. We are going to do exercise that feels good. So maybe there is a dance class that you've really been wanting to do. Maybe you want to work out at home and, put a Pilates video on and do that. Maybe you want to go for a run. Maybe you just want to go for a walk every day. Whatever type of exercise. If you can move for at least 15 minutes a day in a way that feels good, again, that's a major getting the ball rolling action. I promise you, if you just do it for 15 minutes a day, which I think is realistic for most people, even if you're really busy, you can put on a 15-minute dance video and follow it at home. But if it's something you genuinely enjoy, because I do believe that everyone should have, if you haven't found some type of exercise that you enjoy, keep looking. That's kind of the way it goes, right? Because I do believe that everyone has some type of exercise that they would enjoy if they actually try to find something. Maybe it's horse riding, maybe it's rock climbing, maybe it's swimming, maybe it's biking, maybe it's whatever. Find activity that you enjoy, do it for the bare minimum, and from there maybe later you can increase. But the thing is, just doing that will have a ripple effect everywhere, because it sounds counterintuitive, but spending energy will create energy. You will also feel better about yourself because you're doing something hard. It doesn't have to be miserable, that's why the quote unquote, right? You're doing something hard for yourself, and it's going to give you more energy. You're going to feel better about yourself because you're following a structure, and there's just so many benefits to exercising anyways, in terms of heart health, brain health, general health. You are going to feel better. It doesn't have to take too long. It doesn't have to be miserable. It shouldn't be miserable. Like, I run because I freaking love that, and if I can't run, I have basically mental breakdowns. However, put me on a bike, I'm going down and going back in bed. I hate biking. I just don't like that. And I'm not a good dancer, so you're not gonna see me take a dance class. That's not happening. I hate Pilates and yoga. Do I wish I like it? Yes. But I don't. So I'm not going to force myself to do something because Pilates is trendy right now. And back to what I was saying in week 1, please have everything tracked somewhere. Physical copy, notebook, Notion, on your phone. Track the frequency of the things you want to be doing. Because it has to be visible. We're making it easy by doing, something that's only 15 minutes, so it's easy enough to fit into your day. We're making it enjoyable by choosing something that you would enjoy. So you basically have no excuse right now because you're making it visible, you're making it enjoyable, and you're making it easy to follow. You have no excuse, so it's going to be easy to follow through. And that's something I do with all of my clients, by the way, because when they come to me, they're like, oh, I've seen your, all the videos with your clients and the proofs and all of that, and it seems so nice, but what if it doesn't work for me? And what if the plan they have doesn't work for me? I'm like, of course the plan I have for them is not going to work for you. They get confused, like, what do you mean? Because every single one of my clients has a different plan. If you're a student, if you're a solo mom, if you're struggling with binge eating, if you're training for a half marathon, no one is going to have the same goal. So no one is going to have the same plan. No one likes the same things. No one can work out every day or work out for 45 minutes or lunch break and all that. No one has the same schedule. Therefore, you have to make it like personalized to you. And that's what I do. I have actually the most fun I love planning things. So creating plans for my clients, whether it's about the binge eating or the food or the mindset or the workout part, is just so fun to me. I love doing that. So that's my favorite, one of my favorite things to do. But you have to realize that what you see online, when people say this is what I do, will not necessarily apply to you. So if you force yourself to do something that doesn't work with you, it's not going to work long term. That's what I'm saying. You have to follow all those little things that I'm saying here, and please take notes, because I know that I'm saying stuff like somehow out of the blue because I don't really have a script. I just know what goes into which week. But for exercise and all the rest that I'm saying, you got to make each action easy, enjoyable, and trackable, like visible. Okay, so you've been working out for a week now. It's basically Christmas time now. So let's talk about week 4. So I want you to write down who is that version of you who you want to be. And I want you to be really, you have time technically this week. So I want you to be really, really precise. What does she wear? How does she walk? How does she talk? What does her schedule look like? What are maybe affirmations that she says to herself? What does her screen time look like? What does she wear? The makeup, the jewels, everything. I want you to have so many details, because another thing is, I wasn't feeling like myself because I was in pajamas all day. And I wasn't wearing makeup. I was barely wearing any type of jewels because I work from home. So minus my videos, which is like a couple hours per week, I really didn't need to wear anything nice. And not that that is nice, I'm cold, so, but it's not my pajamas. So, take what I'm giving you. With that being said, one of the major things that I had to do was getting dressed in the morning and putting makeup on my work days, because I felt better about myself. Therefore, I showed up as the version of me who I wanted to be. Just because I was wearing stuff and I was putting makeup on. And that's something we've seen in COVID, by the way, because a lot of people forgot themselves as well, because there were really no need to dress well. So a lot of people stopped doing that. And then everyone was like, oh, but we kind of lost ourselves. And we started to figure out, well, that's because we were in pajamas all day. Minus a couple of major things, COVID. From there, pick a couple things that will make you feel that person the moment you wear them. For example, I always have those jewels on, I literally can sleep with them, work out with them, shower with them, so it's never been an issue. But I don't always have that. I don't always have my earrings, and I definitely don't always wear makeup. So the things that I do that helps me is wearing makeup. And it's really changed the game in the sense of, if I wear makeup, I can't stay in my pajamas, so I have to wear something, a little nicer. And when I do that, that's how I embody that version. So you got to figure out one action or a few items that when you wear them, you feel like that version of you. And it's going to be so much easier to show up as that. Now, obviously, once you get into 2026, you want to keep doing what you've been doing in December and maybe push a little harder because it's a new year. But technically, you also, that new version of you already, you've stepped back into yourself, so you can feel a little bit more like yourself. So, that new year will feel a little better, hopefully. But the goal I have for you is really to feel proud of yourself when you step into that new year and connected back with yourself and showing up as the version of you you want to be. You deserve to start 2026 as the real authentic you, connecting back to you, looking at that person in the mirror, and maybe it's not your dream body yet, but you can still say, you know what, I'm proud of myself. It's not that I've let myself go, and you recognize that version. And when you wake up and you do the things and you put your makeup on and those jewels and those clothes, and then, you know, you eat a healthy breakfast high in protein, and then you move on to doing the things that you're supposed to do, and then maybe you work out and you do all the things that feel like you. That's what matters. It's not about being unrecognizable, it's about reconnecting with yourself. And I hope that helped. Woo!